YouTube, Gabe Makes, back again with another video. We're going to go over the simplest hack when dealing with leather, engraving and cutting your leather with your leather engraver. How I didn't know this simple little maneuver is beyond me. 4 years I've been in this business, 4 years. I just came to this realization 4 days ago. Found out 4 days ago, looked it up, found it on YouTube. We're going to go over creating your own leather patch hat that is super slick, and we're going to use software that is readily available for everyone. You don't have to be a graphic designer to know how to use this. All right, finishing touches on this hat are going down right now. Woo! I'm going to teach you how to make that clean. And if you're over 6 foot and you film YouTube videos, do I have the tripod you should not use? Bending down. Woo! Might be asking yourself, did I get a taller tripod since the last 3 seconds you saw me? The answer is no, my legs are just really far spread apart. We're just working with what we got though. Let's go. The trick that I mentioned earlier, the one thing that I have not known and have not done this entire time. I'm gonna sound like an idiot. You watching this video probably already know this. I cannot believe I did not know this. This is a piece of Cobra Cow veg tanned natural tooling leather. I buy it in a hide. This is a little scrap piece. And speaking of scrap pieces, let me know if you guys have tried out making the 3D logos, like the 3D puff embroidery effect on leather patch hats. Honestly, I've still been knocking these out like crazy, so let me know how you like those. Back to this piece of leather. This piece of leather is so incredibly difficult to cut, to make my cut lines. When I'm making a leather patch, to cut it out. Or if I'm doing the holes for the stitching lines, it makes it impossible. So much time is spent on the cut of the machine's process. Like a normal piece of leather would take one pass, maybe two passes on the same settings, which is pretty much the lowest possible settings. I'm going the lowest speed and the highest power. To get through this, it's taken like 7 passes. A couple days ago, I was using this and I was like, there's gotta be a better way. Like there's some reason, this is the same ounce leather, it's the same veg tan. There's something going on. And then it clicked. Well, it didn't click. I YouTubed it. I looked it up. How did I not ever look this up before? I was just accepting how long it was taking all the way before this. My hands are wet because I just soaked the leather. That's all it took. That's all it took. Literally, it was taking 7 passes for the cut on my engraving machine to get through this. Now it takes 2. It takes 2 when it's soaked, when it's damp. It's not changing the color of the leather. It's not affecting anything overall that I've seen. It's only enhancing everything about the process. For the hat we're making today, I started out with 2 different patches. One, I used a dampened leather. The other, I just had let it dry. Same exact sheet, same exact hide it came off of. This is the patch from the non-damp hide. Now you can't really tell, but it's super charred on the edges. This got 7 passes all the way around the logo to cut it out. Took 7 passes. It's also leaving major charring. Can you see that on my white arms? This exact same piece of leather, cut it out, the exact same logo, just using the leather that was dampened. Instead of 7 passes on the previous one with the dry leather, this one took 2 passes. Instead of charring, this one leaves, does it leave anything? It might leave just a little bit, but it doesn't leave anything when you can see it next to each other. This one, damp. This one, dry. Can you see how much less charring is on this? How am I just figuring this out? You probably already knew that little tip, but just in case you didn't, just in case you were like me, I had to tell you because that could have saved me so many hours. I'm talking, that could have maybe saved me days at this point. Days. Crazy. It took a 4-minute patch and turned it into an 18-minute patch sometimes when it's very detailed. So hopefully you take that with you, put that in your little toolbox. On to the next one. I think I gave myself a rash. Let's dive into how we made this Mallard Leather Patch Hat. By starting out with what software did we use? We mentioned software earlier in the video. We use Canva. It's actually a website. I'm sure you've heard of it. If not, there are so many tutorials on YouTube on how to guide your way through Canva. It's a great resource for graphic design when you're first starting out. I make anything from simple logos to pretty detailed logos, YouTube video thumbnails, and a whole lot more. I do have the paid version of Canva. I think it's $12 a month for Teams Edition. I get more options. There's more premium logos, premium items that you can choose from. This Mallard just so happens to be a premium item, so you would need to pay $12, I think it's $12.99 a month to receive this option. I want you to watch how simple this is. So we're gonna go into Canva, we're on canva.com. I come over to Elements, I select Elements over here in the left corner, and then I type in, let's type in Mallard. Let's type in something simple, let's type in duck, just to not go too crazy. Then at the top part of the screen it says graphics. I'm gonna select graphics. Usually graphics has things like SVGs or very detailed files that work great for laser engraving. So I'm scrolling. As you can see, this crown, it means premium. That means you just have to have the membership to use that file. I'm starting to see a little bit more. Here we have it looks like a pretty detailed duck. If I click on this, it's gonna give me magic recommendations. Magic recommendations are things that are kind of similar or maybe by the same design creator. That's when you really start to find things that you enjoy. Say you clicked on something, you liked it, let's see similar things just like that. But the better keywords, the better search results. So I ended up typing in Mallard, was one of the first pages that came up. I have my Mallard here. So what we did is we went to Elements, then we went to Graphics. Now we have our logo on screen. What we're gonna do here is hit Share, Download. I'm gonna come on down to SVG. This is great for laser engraving. I preached this in this video and I've also preached it in all other videos. Most people know this if they already own a laser engraving machine, but it gives the best detailed work. And as you can see from this Mallard, tons of detail. Select transparent background. So I'm going to deselect all pages. And after I do that, I'm gonna hit current page and then I hit download. Now we're ready for Lightburn. Once you have your file in SVG, it makes Lightburn so easy. So I imported my file, and an SVG comes loaded with presettings of different layers, whether it's line, cut, fill. We just want to worry about cut and we want to worry about line. We want to cut the outside of the patch and we want the line to be the indentation on where we're going to paint throughout the patch. We're going to mask the leather with tape later on in the video, and then that line cut is going to go through the tape and it's going to make it even easier than you were using a coloring book. You're going to have actual parts of this patch cut off to where you can paint individual spots one color, making it that much more vibrant. So what I'm going to do is fully select the logo. I'm going to come down to our presets down here, our different colors. I know my preset for line that I want to use is 5. That is 35 speed, 100 power. I don't want it to cut the leather all the way through. I just wanted to put that little indentation into the tape and be able to pull the tape off easily in specific spots. Now that our entire logo is set to line, it's set to that orangey color that's on the screen. We want to select the entire logo. I'm going to come over here to offset. It looks like an Ohio State Buckeye logo. It's here to the left side of the screen. I'm going to select outward, round, offset distance 0, 0, 0, 0 all the way across the board. That is going to give a perfectly symmetrical outer line to our logo. I'm going to come down. My preset is green 3. That means 5 speed, 100 power. That's the most power this machine can put out. That's to cut. It says 6 passes down here. We don't need 6 passes now that we wet our leather. We wet our leather now. 2 passes. I have an Xtool D120 Pro. My settings are going to be different than yours. You're going to have to test out a little bit with a scrap piece of leather or whatever you're using to cut, but just keep that in mind. As far as size of patch goes, I just set mine to 1.9 inches tall. It's just a personal preference. You can set yours to have however tall you like, just depending on how big you want the patch. And now I'm going to show you the process of prepping the leather, laser engraving, painting, small little clips. But after that, we're going to go over what leather we use, would we use it again, would we buy it again, where we buy it from to make our leather patch hats. So stay tuned. I've literally already had buddies try to get this from the shop. I said, nope, this one's mine. I love that. So what we did after we finished up painting, finished up everything in the video, I went ahead and added some hide bond to the back. This is a piece of hide bond and another patch that I made. That one looks pretty slick too. And used my Hotronics 360 IQ to make this leather patch hat. And if you want instructions on how to do that, I have other videos on my channel on how to heat press leather patches and also how to add hide bond to the back of leather. That's another video. I really appreciate you guys following along, and if you made it this far, if you don't mind, please subscribing or liking the video or doing both. You guys have shown so much support already. It's crazy. I think I'm almost about to be at 500 subscribers. Still can't fathom it, still don't understand it, but we're still gonna make slick hats and YouTube videos, hopefully, either way. Thank you. Peace.